Peace be upon you and Allah's mercy and blessings. Welcome to Revelations of Islam. In this video, together we will explore valuable teachings of Islam that, insha'Allah, will strengthen your faith and bring light into your life. What if your destiny wasn't a straight line? What if the past, present and future danced together, invisible to you, but known to Allah forever? In a world where science discovers that time can bend, and that particles can respond to intention, Islam offers you an even broader truth. Your soul, your energy, your Qadr are all linked in a divine plan, infinitely precise, infinitely loving. In this video, we will cross the sails, dive into the quantum physics, the invisible realities, and find out how your spirituality can change your destiny. Not in a book, but here, now, in the sacred vibration of your heart. Are you ready to open the eyes of your soul? Before continuing, a quick reminder. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos. If you like what you see, a like would be greatly appreciated, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your continued support. On the invisible which governs the visible, and if the world you observe was only a veil, a light curtain between your gaze and infinity, and if what you consider solid, concrete, palpable, was in truth only a silent song of particles, a divine breath that vibrates through matter. We have created everything with measure. Surah Al-Qamar 49. Every atom, every star, every emotion. Obey this measure. Le Qadr, the divine decree, invisible like love, powerful like destiny, subtle like an angel's caress on the shoulder of a lonely believer. You breathe. And you don't know that at the very moment your breath rises, whole worlds dance around you. Dimensions that are only revealed to those who look with the heart, to those who ask not only with the tongue, but with consciousness. In the quantum world, nothing is fixed, nothing is solid, everything is potential, a field of endless possibilities, like the paths of your destiny, like the paths that Allah can open when you implore. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Nothing repels Qadr except prayer." Tirmidhi. Have you ever thought about this? Your prayer, your invocation, this whisper thrown into the night, this sigh between your tears, can vibrate the very fabric of the universe. It's not poetry, it's the truth, it's science, it's faith. Because when you raise your hands to the sky, you don't just beg, two observes. Like a scientist facing the unknown, you choose. Like a traveler facing infinity, you declare your intention. And in this act, something is changing in the invisible. Your dua is like a wave. It crosses the universe, it disrupts the field, it attracts, she pushes back. It transforms. What if your soul was actually an antenna, a unique frequency, capturing the secrets of Allah through the veils of existence? And if the Qadr was not a cage, but a living, malleable framework, nourished by your prayers and your trust? The Qadr is like a light behind a stained glass window. It colors your life depending on the angle of your gaze. It reflects your choices, your patience, your effort. And it adapts. Yes, it adapts to the sincerity of your heart. In the invisible, there is neither chance nor chaos. Everything is orchestrated, even your silence, even your pain, even this precise moment when you listen to these words. Allah has guided you there. Not to lock yourself into a fixed destiny, but to awaken you to your inner power. Because your hidden energy, It's not a magical force. It is your ability to connect to the divine decree, to blend into the will of Allah, to vibrate at His frequency. And this is where your real journey begins. Not outward, but inwards. Where every beat of your heart resonates like a reminder. There is no strength and power except in Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Close your eyes. Listen. There is something in you who wakes up slowly. Say in the comment sections, Allah is great. 2. The story of the man who bent destiny. I still remember that night. It was winter. The Istanbul wind meandered between the ancient stones of the city, caressing souls with the gentleness of mystery. I walked aimlessly, carried by this strange feeling that something must be transmitted to me. And it was in an alley, narrow like a childhood memory, that I met him. An old man sitting on a step, his hands clasped, his eyes shining like two tired but still living stars. He wasn't begging, he was watching. He looked at me for a long time. Then he said to me, "You're trying to understand Qadr, aren't you?" I didn't answer anything, but my silence said enough. He smiled. Not a surface smile, a smile heavy with lived truths. And he told me a story, not from a book, not from a speech, no. A story that he carried in his bones. There was a pious man, he told me. A man everyone thought was doomed. Poverty, loneliness, illness. 3 channels, 3 verdicts. People said, "It's Qadr. There's nothing to do." But he prayed every night. He was crying every morning. He did not ask for wealth. He wasn't asking for the easy way. He asked for clarity. He wanted to see le Qadr. These words struck me like silent lightning. Ask si le Qadr. Who dares to this? Who dares to ask to look at the invisible lines that Allah draws for each being? And one day, continued the old man, everything changed. Not in his environment, not in his finances, not in his health, more in him. He says he saw a light in a dream. Not an ordinary light, but a light that spoke to the heart. She said to him, "When you align yourself with my decree, I bend the universe to grant it to you." I couldn't take my eyes off his. It seemed like he was telling me an ancient story. But that concerned me more. As if this old man was only the mirror of something larger, deeper. He then understood that Qadr was not a wall, it was a river. And his prayer, that was the direction of the current. I remained silent for a long moment. Then this sentence came back to me, read one day in a book on quantum physics. The observer effect. The state of a particle is influenced by the fact that we look at it. What if our spiritual observation, our consciousness turned towards Allah, had the same effect on our destiny? And if, by dint of praying sincerely, to believe deeply, we were subtly changing the flow? Because I too have experienced these moments when a simple prayer made in silence and despair changed something. Not around me, more in me. And this inner change ended up, sooner or later, bending the outside world. Maybe that's the miracle. Not that events change suddenly, but let our gaze be transformed to the point of giving them another meaning. And this new reading, this new vibration, opens the doors to an unexpected future. And you? Tell me, have you ever seen your own destiny change, following a prayer you thought you had forgotten? Have you ever cried one night, then felt something different in the morning? What if it was the entire universe who was listening to you that evening? What if it was your heart which through its faith had moved the invisible lines of Qadr? I never saw this old man again. But sometimes, when life gets dark, I close my eyes, and I still hear his voice. When you align yourself with my decree, I bend the universe to grant it to you. 3. When time fades, quantum physics and predestination. The hourglass of the material world flows drop by drop, slowly, painfully. But in the subtle world, time does not flow. It surrounds. He penetrates. He dances. In the quantum universe, particles appear here, then there, in no apparent order. One electron can influence another, even if separated by light years. And sometimes an effect manifests itself before to cause. This defies all human logic. But maybe it's not time that moves forward. Maybe it's you that moves you through an already woven fabric. Allah says, in wisdom that transcends dimensions. Allah knows what was, what is, what will be, and what will never happen, and what it would have been like if it had happened. Interpretation of the tafsir of the scholars on His omniscience. Read these words carefully, not just what is or what will be, but also what will never be, and how would it have been. This means that there are scenarios of your existence that you will never experience. But Allah knows them in their most intimate detail. The sigh you would have heaved in a parallel life, the tears that you never shed, but that He saw flow into an if. What if? What you sometimes feel, that thrill for no reason, the sudden insight, was the reflection of a cosmic echo, of a possible destiny that touched your soul before disappearing into the invisible. And if the future is not in front of you, but already registered around you, like a light that you only perceive by closing the eyes of the body and by opening those of the soul? The Prophet Muhammad said, hearts are between two fingers of the Most Merciful. He turns them around as He wants. Authentic Hadith, Muslim. Your heart, this spiritual atom, is perhaps closer to an electron than you think. Able to change direction under the influence of a divine breath, with a sincere dua, with a nocturnal terre. What if this reversal was the key? What if the present was not a fixed moment, more a portal, a passage to another version of yourself, already seen by Allah? In the quantum world, we talk about superposition, a state of pure potentiality, where a particle can be here and to be alive and not alive until we observe it. You too are in superposition. You can be this being of light or of shadow, the one who gets lost or the one who rises, the one who repeats the mistakes of the past or the one who breaks the cycle. But what decides? Your conscience, ton regard, ton intention, turn toward Allah. And if every prayer you say here below, even in apparent insignificance, vibrated in a future that you can't even imagine yet? What if each Bismillah, every tear, every istighfar, was a wave that modifies a written reality in another plane? Do you believe that your future self, the one who has gone through trials, who bowed down in the storm, who loved Allah despite everything, already exists in the knowledge of Allah and waits for you with open arms? Maybe Qadr is not an immutable code, but a symphony. And Allah has given you an instrument, your heart. Before continuing, a quick reminder. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos. If you like what you see, that like would be greatly appreciated, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your continued support. 4. Your soul, a field of divine energy. Your soul. It has no shape, no weight, no outline, but she makes you cry at midnight for no apparent cause. She makes you shiver when you hear a verse. She speaks to you in a silence that only Allah hears. And I breathed into him my spirit. Surat Al-Hijr 29. It is not a symbol. This is not a metaphor. It is the deepest reality of your being. Allah, the creator of worlds, galaxies, dimensions, has placed of His Spirit in you, not to elevate yourself above others, but to remind you where you come from and where you must return. You are not a body that has a soul. You are a soul temporarily enveloped in a body, a celestial vibration, an ancient breath, a particle of the mystery. Scholars speak of nafs, of ruh, of heart, strata of your being. But deep down, there is this incandescent core. This core vibrates. Like a quantum field, it resonates with the invisible world. You've felt this before, haven't you? This strange feeling, just before an event that will turn your life upside down. As if your soul knew before your body. Before the eye sees, the soul feels. Before destiny knocks on your door, your heart sends you a signal. And this signal is not by chance. It is your energy in tune with divine writing, a living writing which pulses to the rhythm of your dhikr, like quantum particles which behave differently depending on whether they are observed or not. Your soul too changes depending on where you look. Towards the dunya, she gets confused. Towards Allah, it lights up. Have you ever prayed and felt unexplained heat climb inside you? Have you ever shed a tear without words, as if the universe within you was crying out to Allah? What if these moments weren't just emotions, but sacred vibrations, calls from the invisible world? The Prophet prayed until his feet swelled. For what? Because the soul never sleeps when she's in search of her origin. And you? Do you know why your heart sometimes stirs in calm? Why do you feel a nostalgia that nothing here below can appease? Because your soul does not belong to this world. She remembers. She remembers a moment before time, when Allah says, "Am I not your Lord?" And they said, "Yes, we bear witness to it." Surah Al-A'raf 172. These words still resonate in you. And it's this vibration that you feel with every sincere prayer, with each deep prostration, with each tear shed in the dark night. You are a field of divine energy, a witness to the invisible, an echo of the heavenly decree. 5. Activate your divine energy. Qadr awaits you. It's no coincidence that you're hearing these words now. It's not a coincidence that your heart sinks, that a part of you feels concerned. No. Maybe it's your Qadr who talked to you. Maybe he knocks gently on the door of your conscience, waiting for you to open. For destiny does not fall like blind lightning. They wait for a vibration. He waits a signal. You are not a victim of fate. You are a sacred actor in an invisible orchestra, where each breath, each choice, each prayer makes a note unique in the cosmic symphony willed by Allah. And the music that rises from your heart, your sincerity, your tears, your faith, despite the storms, can change the trajectory of your existence. The Prophet said, "The strong believer is better and more loved by Allah than the weak believer, although there is good in everyone." Reported by Muslim. But what does it mean to be strong? Not in muscle, not in appearance, more in spiritual energy. Strong, he is the one who feels, who understands, who interacts with his Qadr. The one who trusts, even when he doesn't yet understand. The one who walks through the night knowing that light exists, even invisible to his eyes. Activate this energy. Wake up your soul. Don't let your potential sleep while your destiny waits for you to embrace it. Your soul is one divine engine. She only asks to vibrate to the rhythm of Allah's plan. Do you think it's over? Do you think it's written? And that nothing can change? Listen carefully to what Allah says. Allah erases what He wants and confirms what He wants. And near Him is the mother of the book, Surah Ar-Ra'd 39. The decree is not a wall, it's an ocean in motion, and your your awakening, your energy, can redraw the waves. So dive in, immerse yourself in your dua as you immerse yourself in a quantum ocean, with faith, with love, with certainty that Allah always responds either way. Are you ready to tell your soul, wake up, it's time? Do you have the courage to believe that your hidden energy, this silent vibration, can illuminate your entire life? Do you believe that your sincerity can move a decree that you thought was engraved in stone? Perhaps you hate something even though it is good for you. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:16. Maybe your pain is the access point. Maybe this test is their key to your elevation. Maybe your weight is actually a divine invitation to transform yourself. The Qadr is waiting for you, not tomorrow, now. You are not here by chance. Each breath, each thought, each dua that you make is inscribed in the echo of a divine plan bigger than you can imagine. Your soul is not dust lost in the universe. She is connected to the throne. It vibrates with a sacred energy. It carries within itself the reflection of the will of Allah. Don't wait any longer. Don't wait for an external sign. You are the sign. You are the living witness of a Qadr who calls you to raise you. Has choose, has believe. Even when everything seems blurry. Close your eyes, listen to your heart, and ask yourself, am I ready to vibrate with divine light? Am I ready to say to Allah, here I am, Ya Rabbi, guide me to the best that you have written. Your Qadr is waiting for you. And it starts now. Before ending, if this video was helpful to you, and you want to continue learning and growing in faith, don't forget to subscribe to Revelations of Islam and activate the bell to receive all our new videos.